Heads up 12s! This one's huge! Today's video is straight fire with news that could flip the entire Seahawks season right at the start. Picture this, losing a key starter on defense in Week 1, another member of the secondary being put under the microscope after a rough game, and out of nowhere, a massive move might be coming to strengthen the heart of this defense. Yeah, 12s, all of this is happening at the same time, and the coaching staff is feeling the heat to respond before this season goes sideways early. So if you don't want to miss a single detail of this storm, stick around until the end because what's coming could shake the entire season. And hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because you do not want to miss this one. The Seahawks came into Week 1 wanting to send a message to the league. This wasn't going to be the same team that got gashed in the run game last year, gave up big plays, and folded in clutch moments. But that opener against the 49ers proved there's still a lot of work to do. The offense never really got going, points were hard to come by, and the defense, while flashing at times, couldn't slow down Christian McCaffrey when it mattered most. One of the most talked about names after the game was safety Kobe Bryant. He entered the season expected to take on a bigger role in the secondary, especially after some veteran departures and how confident he looked down the stretch last year. But that game in San Francisco was a real trial by fire, and it exposed some things fans didn't want to see. Bryant was targeted over and over by Kyle Shanahan's offense, gave up key third down catches, and struggled to finish tackles in space. Against a loaded offense like the Niners, every mistake feels huge, and Bryant felt it. It wasn't a total disaster, he still showed flashes of his speed and quick reactions, but consistency was the big issue. And for a defense trying to establish itself as disciplined and aggressive under Mike Macdonald, those kinds of mistakes just can't happen. The timing couldn't be worse with the depth chart already thin. Rookie Nick Emmanwori, who was fighting for a rotation spot, went down with an ankle injury and could miss a few weeks. That means Seattle has almost no margin for error and needs Bryant to bounce back immediately, just like he did in the second half of last season. The good news? Macdonald has a track record of developing DBs and making fast adjustments. Fans remember how Baltimore's defense used to evolve week by week, and the hope is that Seattle will do the same. Bryant's going to have to grind the tape, clean up his tackling angles, and get ready for another physical offense, because Week 2 is on the road in Pittsburgh, and the Seahawks can't afford another slip-up. And because of those issues, the front office wasted no time bringing back a very familiar face. Shaquill Griffin is officially back on the Seahawks active roster. After nearly 5 years away from playing a real game for Seattle, the 2017 third-round pick will get the chance to wear the blue and green again in a regular season matchup. He was promoted from the practice squad to the 53-man roster on Thursday, a move that shows just how concerned the coaching staff is about the depth at corner. To make room, wide receiver Cody White was waived, though he quickly rejoined the practice squad as a vet. Griffin brings leadership, experience, and knowledge of the system since he was with the team all training camp and only got cut during final roster moves. Last year with the Vikings, he played all 17 games, grabbed 2 interceptions, and defended 6 passes. This move could become even more crucial because Devin Witherspoon, the team's top corner, didn't practice Wednesday with a knee issue. If he can't go against the Steelers, Griffin will likely see significant snaps right away. That's both good and bad news. Good because you get experience on the field, bad because it shows this CB group is far from 100%. For fans, Griffin's return is a mix of nostalgia and hope. He was a Pro Bowler in 2019 wearing these colors and knows what it's like to play with Lumen Field rocking. Now the expectation is that he can steady the secondary and help Bryant regain his confidence. That leadership in the locker room might be exactly what this team needs to stay locked in through a brutal early season stretch. Speaking of concerns, the hole in the middle of the defensive line is still one of the biggest question marks on this roster. Seattle started the season without a true nose tackle on the 53, something that raised eyebrows from analysts and fans alike. Against San Francisco, Quinton Bohanna was called up from the practice squad and played 10 defensive snaps. He helped hold McCaffrey to just 69 yards, a solid 3.1 yards per carry, but the Niners still racked up 119 rushing yards and won the trench battle. Brandon Piley could be activated for Week 2, but it's clear the front office is exploring outside help. One name popping up behind the scenes? Mazi Smith, the Cowboys' 2023 first-round pick, who was a healthy scratch in Week 1 and could be again in Week 2. This situation is interesting because Smith's trade value is at an all-time low. Dallas doesn't seem to trust him and might be willing to move him for cheap. For Seattle, a team with a history of taking flyers on young players who need a fresh start, this could be the perfect buy low chance. Smith came out of Michigan as one of the best run stoppers in his class, with freakish strength and the tools to lock down the middle. If it's just a confidence or scheme fit issue, a new environment and a defensive coordinator known for developing talent might be all he needs. It would take some roster shuffling and patience, but the payoff could be huge if he reaches that college ceiling. Pulling off a move like this would be classic John Schneider. Remember when he traded for JV and Clowney in 2019? Or brought in Carlos Dunlap in 2020? Both times the defense needed a spark, and the front office made it happen. With Seattle trying to reestablish a tough, physical identity, landing a true anchor inside could be the difference between fighting for the division or just chasing a wild card spot. Bottom line 12s, there's a lot happening at once in Seattle. Kobe Bryant's situation is going to be a major storyline over the next few weeks, and how he plays against the Steelers might decide his role for the rest of the year. Shaquill Griffin is back and could be exactly the veteran presence this secondary needs to settle down. And on top of all that, the team might be getting aggressive on the trade market for a nose tackle, with Mazi Smith's name likely to keep coming up until the run defense is fixed. But now it's your turn 12s. Do you think the Seahawks have what it takes to flip the switch and finally solve this defense? Will Bryant and Griffin lock down the secondary in Week 2? And if Schneider goes all in on Mazi Smith, could he be the missing piece that turns this group into a wall? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what the 12s are thinking. And if you love this kind of content, help keep this community rolling. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Seahawks update. The voice of the 12s is what powers this channel, so let's show the league how strong this fan base is. Go Hawks!